Hello, I'm Greg Casey, and this is Slow is Fast. As this is my first video, I wanted to explain what the name of the show is about and what the subtitle heading is about, big picture, small focus. Slow is Fast is a concept that was given to me by a fellow trainer in the fitness industry. His name is Glenn Baggerly. Glenn is a pararescue jumper to start in the military. And if you don't know who those gentlemen are, they're the ones that wear the special maroon berets. In addition to that, he was the original Bowflex spokesmodel, the original. And yes, I'm dating myself here, but that's an important fun fact to remember. He was the first. Nonetheless, he and I became fast friends at a startup company that we worked at called Journey Gym. Journey Gym was founded in Northeast Portland, and it was a at-home fitness studio that you could fold up into the size of a small suitcase and travel anywhere with and use anywhere, whether outdoors or indoors. I met Glenn, and he took me kind of under his wing and gave me a lot of tutelage from his perspective and all his years of training and fitness know-how. He witnessed me working out, and he acknowledged that he could see I was an athlete and I knew how to move, but that I was moving too fast for my own body. And he looked at me and said, "Greg, slow is fast." Ever since that point, I've kind of held on to this name, thinking about how I could utilize it into more things of my life. And it's a practice and a discipline as much as it is a logo name. Slow is Fast pertains to the idea of doing things right the first time instead of having to redo them multiple times. This is an important lesson for many of us as we go through life. We're constantly challenged by new things and opportunities that we'll face in our life. And it's important that we take the time to do things right the first time so that we can execute them with efficiency later on, but adapt to the programming of what it is you're trying to do and what your protocols are to be the best version of yourself in whatever it is you're doing. With that said, big picture, small focus, the branding statement that's associated with Slow is Fast, is the idea of dreaming of something bigger than yourself, way bigger than yourself. It's your biggest goal that you could come up with and conceptualize. It should be something that's astronomically far out to reach, Disneyland-like in its concept. And with that, you're going to do one small thing each day towards that goal. So you make this as big as it can possibly be, but your scope of work towards it each day is granular and focused. This way you give yourself the opportunity to move slowly and learn and develop your process the way you want to do it, what your protocol is, and then do one thing towards it each day. I believe that in doing this, procedurally almost, is giving you the chance to learn as you go and to be graceful to yourself, to be grateful that you get to do it in the first place, and give yourself the ultimate opportunity to develop whatever skill sets along the way that you can. Look, let's be honest. This world we live in is a jungle. The paved roads that we get to travel on occasionally, and I'm saying this metaphorically, those are available to us from time to time. But if you want to truly learn and evolve as a human, you have to go through hard times in order to find the bright spots in the world. So I believe that this is a statement and a logo and a brand that carries significance in everyday life, as well as acknowledgement of how important yours is to begin with. With that said, the goal and scope of this podcast or video or these releases that I'll make, the goal is to reach as many people as possible, of course, possibly men more specifically, as I'm trying to reach in motivating dads, fathers, young men, and older men with motivational statements, aphorisms, and maxims that I have acquired throughout my life, whether I learned them from older gentlemen myself, my dad, or other people in other walks of life. Now, this podcast and this video channel isn't meant to just be solely for men. However, I speak from a man's perspective, from a strong male figure perspective. And it's important that I do this because I think there's a lot of education for men out there. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity for bonding and growth opportunity. With that said, it doesn't limit it to just men. It's here for everyone. But the scope of this really is, in fact, to help men and give advice and give motivation and give thought to the things that we're doing in everyday life, whether it is being a father or a provider or a speaker or whatever your job is and whatever it is that you want to talk about. My goal here will be to have these aphorisms and share these ideas out with you as I go, and then eventually have guests on and be able to have conversations and learn something along the way, not only from myself, but with the guests that I'll have on. And these are people from everyday walks of life on up to high-level professionals. It just depends on who's willing to show up and be present in this, as well as what I want out of this show is to learn from them myself. I want to learn from any guest I could have on here, male or female, any opportunity I can to engage in enriching conversation. One thing I don't do is topical. It's just not in my nature. I want big conversation. I want to go deep and learn something about something or someone in that conversation. So I'm looking forward to sharing all this with you over time, and I hope you'll join me in the future to see more of this. Thank you so much. Please take care, like and subscribe if you will, and I'll see you again soon.